Hello everyone. Last session we have discussed about what are the different types of the aquifer, what is meant by aquifer, confined aquifer, unconfined aquifer, then what is piezometric surface, and then artesian well, spring seeps. All these things we have discussed last session. This session we will discuss about what are the different properties of the aquifer, then what is purged water table, also influent stream, explained stream. So all these things we will discuss in today's session. Here you can observe that this is a groundwater table and this is a purged water table. Basically this water table, we know that below the ground surface whatever the water is, water level is there, that is nothing but the water table. Now it is sometimes quite confusing that this one is also water table, this is purged water table, and this is general water table. Now in case of purged water table, there is a small impervious stratum is there. So wherever there is a small impervious stratum in that, suppose if water gets stored, then also this the top surface of that particular water level, which is in a small quantity or small amount, so this is called as purged water table. Now when you dig at this particular location, and it may happen that we get a purged water table, but as the quantity of this particular water table is very less, and that's why many times it confuses that people may get feel that yeah, there is now we have got the water below the ground, and after some time we don't get anything, because whatever the water table is extracted or utilized, then we won't available any kind of, there won't be availability of any kind of water. So because we need to reach up to this particular point, that once we get a general water table, then only we will be able to pump the water from this particular unconfined aquifer. So this is all about the purged water table. So purged, when we say the purged water table, basically there is an impervious stratum in which whatever the water is stored, so that is purged water table, which is generally in the small amount. I'm also going to share with you one of the very important concept. Actually, many times you must have observed that suppose this is the stream or the river, generally which flows for the entire year, whereas we do observe the rainfall only for the 4 months or the 3 months, and in spite of that we do observe that the stream is flowing for the entire year. Generally, we call it as a perennial rivers or perennial stream. But how the water is coming to this particular stream is basically when there is a rainfall, so this water table level will get raised, and this actually from this particular stream up to the very long distance, very for the large amount of area will get covered, which basically contributes water to this particular stream. And there is that discharge. When we say the discharge, it may be in the small amount, but it is continuous and it is there for the entire year. And what happens, so this water table continuously supplies the water to this particular stream, and that's why this stream generally flows for the entire year. And here if you see, it is called as effluent stream, because water is coming from water table to the stream. There is another type of stream called as influent stream. Generally these streams does not flow for the entire year, and this is called as intermittent stream or seasonal stream basically. So because water table level is lower than the surface water level of this particular stream, and that's why what happens, from water flows from high head towards the low head. So from this stream it flows towards this particular water table or towards ground. In this case, from water table, this water table level is high as compared to the stream level, and so here continuously there is a supply of the water. It is called as effluent stream. In this case, so from stream water will discharge towards this particular water table, so it contributes to the groundwater. But after some time, or after few days or few months, then this stream becomes dry, because it will not be able to supply the water for the entire year to this particular water table or this groundwater. So in this case, this will dry after few days, and this is called as basically influent stream. So water is going from stream towards the water table, here from water tables towards the stream. So this is called as effluent, this is called as influent stream. So this is the main important basic concept of effluent stream and influent stream. So we have covered till now what is purged water table, up an influent stream and excluent stream. Now we will discuss about the aquifer properties. So there are the two important aquifer properties. The first one is the specific yield, porosity, and then second one is the specific yield. So the first we will discuss the porosity. So what is meant by porosity? So there is a formula for the porosity. Before that, when in general when we say the porosity, so porosity is nothing but basically whatever the pore space is there in a particular aquifer or in particular strata, so that is nothing but the porosity. So how can we define this particular porosity? Is basically, so basically this is volume of voids divided by volume of entire porous medium, so that we can represent as a V naught, and this will be volume of voids divided by volume of entire porous medium. So we'll get the porosity. So generally we can say this porosity is porosity may vary, means it can be more than 5%, it can be more than even 20%. So there is a classification of this particular porosity as well. So like suppose if we say the first one, if the porosity is large, and when we can say the large, if this porosity is basically more than 20%. So in this case we can say this porosity is large. When the porosity is medium, uh, in the second case, like if it is in between 5 to 20, so if it is in between 5 to 20, then we can say porosity is medium. And the third is there, if the porosity is less than 5, then we can say the porosity is less. So like that there is also another classification, and so this greater than 20, in between 5 to 20, and less than 5. So in this way also we can mention the porosity. The second type of the second property we can say, so that is specific yield. So the specific yield is something different than porosity, but it is related to the porosity. So how can we define this or what is meant by specific yield? Basically when we see the porosity, actually that is a porous space or where water can be stored. Now this entire water we can't extract from this particular porous medium. So what we are supposed what we can get through the gravity, because some amount of water will be held back in that pore spaces, and not entire amount of volume will be available to extract from the aquifer. So whatever the water we can extract from the aquifer is called as specific yield. So basically and some amount of water will get retained. So we can also define in another way also, like suppose specific yield is equal to, so basically porosity is equal to so porosity, that is n, we can say is equal to porosity is equal to specific yield plus specific retention. Because as we can get the idea that this entire from entire porosity, suppose if we will be able to extract SY, that is specific yield, so whatever the water is retained, that is nothing but the specific retention. So this specific yield is very important term, because from this only we can get the idea that this much amount of water can be extracted. So this is nothing but the specific yield. So these are the main properties of the aquifer. Now we will discuss about depending upon the type of the material, as porosity or the specific yield may vary. So what we will do, we'll see the table which will give us the idea that how it varies. depending upon the material, so whether it is clay or whether it is any other material. So we will just go through the material. So now from this table we can observe here the porosity and the specific yield of selected formation is given. So now here you can observe this is a clay, sand, gravel, sandstone, shale and limestone. So for these formation, what is the porosity? So here you can see if the clay is there, then porosity varies from 45 to 55, whereas the specific yield is 1 to 10%. So whereas in case of sand, the specific porosity is 35 to 40%, and the specific yield is 10 to 30%. So in case of clay it is 1 to 10, it is in case of sand it is 10 to 30. So why there is a difference in the specific yield? Because in here it is low, here it is high as compared to the clay. Because as you know, the clay is a very fine material. Even infiltration is generally do not occur or occur in a very less amount in case of clay, whereas here there is will be the high infiltration. In the same way, in the formation, through the gravity, the water will come from this sand very easily as compared to the clay. That's why the specific yield would be more in case of sand as compared to the clay. So depending upon the formations, actually this formation gives us the idea that whether the specific yield will be high or it would be less in the particular for the particular strata. Then in the same way for the gravel it is 15 to 30%. Then in case of sandstone it is 5 to 15%. Then for the shale again it is decreasing 0.5 to 5, and here limestone it is same, which is 0.5 to 5. So in this way the specific yield varies. Here also you can see the porosity also is given. So it is 45 for this clays. For sand it is 35, gravel it is 30, for sandstone it is 10, and shale 1. Then for limestone it is 1. So these are the porosities and these are the specific yield values. So this is what we have discussed in today's session about what is purged water table, what is influent stream, what is effluent stream, and aquifer properties, simply porosity and the specific yield. In next session we will discuss about the Darcy's law. So what is meant by Darcy's law and what is the purpose of Darcy's law, that we will discuss in the next session, so that you will have a more detailed idea, and after that we will solve few numericals. It will clear our concepts clear, so it will help us to understand even this groundwater hydrology in a better way. Thank you.